body odor is problems with hygiene.
Okay. Hygiene.
That's the first thing. That's the first thing I'll probably deal with, because you see, any kind of smells that you hear that you get from an individual that is indicative of a medical condition, they have specific smells, and it will make you suspect immediately. For instance, an individual with diabetes, for example, if they have excessively high levels of blood sugar, they have a smell that is a bit fruity, like ketones. And you know that the person is either in a coma or about to go into a coma. It's a fruity smell. Yes.
A coma?
So when you smell that, when a patient comes in and brings in this vast, fruity, sweet, sickeningly, like some of these very terrible air fresheners, and that thing is surrounding the patient, you know that the patient's blood sugar control is out of whack, and you need to take care of that patient immediately. Another example is where problems with the liver or the kidney. The kidney and the liver serve to excrete waste materials from the body.
Yes. True.
So that means all of the products of all of your day-to-day activities are taken out by the liver or the kidney. So if there are issues with the liver or the kidney, you have like a chemical smell almost. Sort of like, the way you would feel when you are in a factory that is producing chemicals. Why? Because the body is not able to excrete, these waste materials. So it's almost like bleach, sort of. So those are the kind of things. Another thing is food.
Okay, your diet.
Yes, your diet. Okay. Sulfur-rich foods. A premium example are probably like cabbage, onions, garlic, broccoli, cauliflower, and even red meat. If you have excessive amounts of that, they can contribute to body odor.
Doc,
then you also have foods that can also. Should I go on?
No, wait, Doc. You just mentioned red meat, broccoli, cabbage.
See, you mentioned it actually. Yes, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower. Have you noticed people saying that, you have some societies where they eat a lot of cabbage?
Yes. Oh, yes.
And you hear people having a specific smell that surrounds people who are from those areas. It's a reflection of the richness of cabbage in their diets.
So excessive. I've never heard cabbage. I've heard of garlic. Doc, I've never heard cabbage. I've heard of garlic, but cabbage? That's interesting.
Yes.
Wow.
Probably because people don't typically eat enough cabbage to cause problems. So it wouldn't be something that would come to your mind readily, but it does happen.
Doc, I went on a cabbage stick diet in recent times, and so when you say the quantity, because I had
how much is
purple
too
cabbage
much?
the other day, or as they call it, red cabbage. But how much is
too much?
No, you see, going on a diet for a short period of time is not the same thing as somebody who has something as a regular part of their diet each day, every day. So if you're not somebody who eats cabbage like 4 times a week, and this is consistent for months and for years of your life, before you know it, that becomes an inherent part of yourself.
Okay.
Yes, so that is different.
We're going to take a pause and breathe in and soak in what you just said. We will be right back. Guys, don't go anywhere, because cabbage just freaked me out. I was talking about garlic and the smell of garlic. And there's some ethnicities that do carry that smell with them because of the quantity of garlic that they
There's
eat.
even a drug that someone had taken in my presence
that has
smells
so
like
much garlic. Yeah, they are. But it's the overtaking. Let's just take a break. We'll be right back, Doc. Please don't go anywhere.
FM 92.7.
Once in a while, an exceptional talent arises to take the comedic scenery to another level. Bird in the southeast, Birds in the south-south, and now in the southwest. Lagos, are you ready? As MC Monica presents Who is Chisom? Get ready for a night of rib-cracking, jaw-breaking comedy featuring the best of the comic and music world. Performing live, AY, Kenny Black, MC Shakara, MC Casino, Abaria.com, and lots more. Musical performances by Timi Dakono, Terry Akbala, Benji Sizizaki, and many more. Venue, Echo Hotels and Suites. Date, Sunday, May 18th, 2025. Red carpet 6 p.m. and main event starts by 8 p.m. Regular 5,000 naira, VIP 30,000 naira, silver table 2 million naira, gold table 3 million naira. Get your tickets online at www.ariatickets.com. For partnership and sponsorship, please call 0706 955 1276. This event is packaged by Lanre Maku Events. Media partner, Super FM.
In today's fast-paced world, staying ahead of the curve is crucial. Are you ready to connect with the latest in business and economics? Tune in to The Business Connect, a dynamic program that delivers in-depth analysis of Nigeria's top business headlines and the global trends shaping the world economy. Each week, we bring you the latest updates on everything from financial markets and trade policies to entrepreneurship and cutting-edge innovations. Hear from industry leaders and experts as they break down the topics that matter most in the world of business. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a business professional, or simply curious about the evolving world of commerce, The Business Connect connects you to the pulse of business at home and abroad. Stay informed, stay ahead, make smarter decisions. Tune in to The Business Connect every Monday, 10:30 to 11 a.m. Because in business, knowledge is power. The Business Connect, only on Super 92.7 FM. Don't miss it. One family, one radio.
92.7 Super FM.
You see, off the air, we've been bamboozled Ducky. We've been asking her so many questions. She's like, okay.
She's like, it's okay. I'll answer all of it. Before we took that break, Doc talked about those who excessively eat things like cabbage, cauliflower, onions, broccoli, garlic. And she said at me that the one that was doing cabbage steak diet is okay, that is not for too long. So
since you're not eating it 4 times a week, and yeah,
Doc, you're still here, yes?
Yes, very much.
Awesome. We're talking to Dr. Olubunmi Aregbesola. She is amazing, and there's something we love about her. One thing we love amongst many things is that she pays attention to making sure that she's an advocate for patient-centered care facilitated by patient education to allow them participate in informed decisions about their health and well-being. We're talking body odor and the health side angle of it. So
Ducky, this cabbage and onions and cauliflower and broccoli, first of all, how much, like you had mentioned moderation is important, but how do you, someone will say, oh, if you don't eat it at all, these are the health benefits. How do you moderate that?
Don't worry, I help you. Ducky, they have been telling me to eat raw garlic. Anybody that knows me knows I cook with a lot of garlic, but you never smell it on me.
Yes.
But eating raw garlic, they tell you, oh, don't forget about the cooking part.
You
just
have to
eat it raw. Because, and yeah, that does turn my mind like. But those who are eating raw garlic for the, quote, health benefits. How do we get them to understand that while the health benefits, the other benefits or not so much benefits are there?
Well, you see, human beings do too much. That's just the honest truth. Garlic is very beneficial. I love a good garlic dish. I use garlic a lot when I'm cooking personally. But then, of course, therein is the word. I use it when I am cooking. I never ever use it raw. Forget the fact that it is beneficial. I do not believe it is fair on anybody around me to have to deal with the consequences of me eating garlic.
Oozing of garlic.
It's uncomfortable for the oozing of garlic and affecting other people. I know that there are some herbal supplementations that do produce, putting garlic as well. That is an option. But I would say that if you like garlic, use it in cooking and use it in cooking alone, and you will be fine.
Okay, so it doesn't take away from the garlic if you eat it raw. It
doesn't take away from the impact of the garlic.
Okay, all right.
Chop it up, mash it, pop it into your food. You're good to go.
Okay, Ducky. I had mentioned something when we were on that break to you, and I wanted to say it here. Someone who has had a clean slate from the very beginning, great smell, doesn't smell bad, nothing, and all of a sudden, the person just starts oozing. Is that possible, first of all? And if it's possible, what do you think are the changes that person may have made to actually make them smell
the wrong way?
How do I describe this? I always go back to hygiene. Okay. I go back to personal grooming because we sweat from all over our body, yes? But we have glands that open up onto hair follicles. That means everywhere in your body where you have hair follicles, for instance, under the armpit, in the ground, in the groin, right? You have hair and you have sweat that comes up from that. So it is the sweat from those glands particularly that interact with the bacteria on your skin and cause problems. So now, a common example of, the sudden change happens at puberty. Have you noticed that when you have young teenagers that were just okay a couple of months ago, and then all of a sudden they begin to smell
a certain way,
very, very strong? That is because they've not learned how to balance cleanliness with their apocrine glands. Those are the glands that lead onto the hair follicles. They've not learned how to take care of themselves and groom themselves appropriately. Another thing that can happen is around the time of menopause. When you have changes in your hormonal structure, your hormonal balance in the body, you find out that during the period when you're going through the menopause, you find out that your body odors might change. And that means that if you have been using specific products before, you might have to change them to find the ones that adapt to you. We're always evolving and we're always changing. The fact that you've been this doesn't necessarily mean that when you are entering the next phase of life, it will be useful for you.
This is so true.
Yes, which is very true. And remember, I said that about kidney disease, liver disease, and diabetes, because you will have these small indicators that might show you that something is wrong before you have very, very large symptoms. And when you have a change, but it's like the gifted goddess said earlier, it is when you are surrounded with people that are willing to let you know that there is something wrong that you become aware. Because as individuals, we are not necessarily aware of how we smell to your deodorant. Did you change your antiperspirant? Did you change your soap? So the fact that somebody is smelling doesn't mean that you do not tell somebody that this is going on, because it might be a pointer to the fact that something is going wrong in their body.
Okay.
Let's be our brother's keeper, shall we?
Yes, shall we? You can be a part of the show too. You can call in and ask questions or send a message on WhatsApp. The number to call is 0705 6900 927. 0705 6900 927 or 0802 502 7711.
Okay. We have been speaking with our Dr. Olubunmi Aregbesola right here in the studio. We're talking about body odor. Now, she had mentioned something that caught my attention, a hormonal imbalance and, everything embedded in different stages of our lives, from one stage to another, menopause and all of that. But then, genetically speaking, if a father has a condition, can he be passed on that would make him smell? Can he be passed on to his children or a mother to her children as well?
Doc, before you answer that question, sorry to get into
yes.
Okay, someone is trying to. Someone's trying to call us, but we lost it. Go ahead with the response, please.
Okay, yes, genetics do play a role. You mentioned something about families that might smell alike. It's not so much about the smell; it's about your body, the hormones you have, how your different hormones, different chemicals in your body interact with the things around you. So it's not so much the smell per se, but it is how your body functions that can run down to different through the genetics and affect how you smell. Doc, I don't know if I'm explaining that correctly.
Yes. You are. You just said
you get me.
There's something that I mentioned about the skin smell, having different skin smells. And so while this perfume or body spray would smell nice with your skin, it might smell horrible on another person's skin. Please confirm what I just... Okay. Thank you. But
I agree very much with that. I think a problem that a lot of people make is that they think purely of the aesthetics of the perfume that they're using. Now, you can never ever go wrong before you even begin to put layer on perfumes by making sure you are always using an antiperspirant. You do realize that a lot of the deodorants some of the deodorants that are sold are not antiperspirants.
True.
there are some that are written specifically antiperspirants.
Yes. So you need to use a roll-on. You need to use a body spray that reduces the amount of sweat that you produce. Right. Remember, the sweat interacts with the bacteria on your skin. If you are somebody that has hyperhidrosis, which is a condition that is characterized by excessive sweating, you have to use an antiperspirant. In fact, I dare say that the antiperspirant is more important than buying the most expensive perfume in the world.
Agreed. Doc, I have another question.
Stephanie,
this thing you just said about antiperspirants, I have heard people say you shouldn't use antiperspirants because why are you blocking your sweat? These pores from releasing sweat. That's just unhealthy. What do you say to that?
I don't care what anyone says. Every single one of my members of my family use antiperspirants. It's a danger that is maybe use your antiperspirants, reduce your sweating. It's another thing for you to be at home, to be under the air conditioner, to be under your fan. But when you're wandering around throughout the day, it doesn't make sense not to use an antiperspirant.
See, Doc, you just said it. See, because people don't know that when you go out on the road and come back, there's this. It almost looks like if you look closely, especially if it's a hot day like it's been around Nigeria, you literally are. The smoke is coming out of you. There's a smell that comes from being under the sun and coming back into the space. So even with all your perfume, if you walk under the sun, you will smell a certain way when you get in. There's a message
and don't
here.
forget that when you are out and about, you are exposed to a wide variety of bacteria. It's a different thing when you are able to shower regularly at home.
True.
You go out at the beginning of the day, you are sweating, the sweat comes all over your clothes, it goes down your back, and then you are exposed to everything in the world around you. The bacteria is having a heyday. It's multiplying on your system. Even if you are using the most expensive perfume, halfway or 2/3 of the time during the day, you are going to smell.
Doki,
and one of the few ways of making sure you don't do that is to use an antiperspirant before you enter that heat.
All right, Doki, I hear you, but my hands are clapped together because I want to ask the people that do wear cloth 2 times or 3 times
in this heat.
After you've gone out, you see the sweat on your body. You now go and dry the cloth outside.
No, you even dry.
No, some of them will even go as far as even drying the clothes outside and say, they can dry it, and then take it back inside and wear it again. Doki, please help me tell them
I'm going to put women on blast here.
Hey! Okay.
Because, yes, I'm going to say it. Because in this weather, how often do women wash their bras?
Hey!
Especially that black... Amaka, that black bra that you like a lot, that goes with everything.
The table has been
When did you wash it last?
Doki, please, how often should you wash your bra?
Hey.
Well, ideally, when you've worn it for a whole day, in the weather that we have in Nigeria now, wash it.
Okay.
Ideally.
I said my piece.
She has said her piece. Somebody says, Gabriel Fabulagiri says, good morning, doctor. I think you just gave an excuse for people to smell. LOL. Your show is got my neighbors and I arguing. You guys rock.
Thank you so much, Gabriel.
So, Doc, I want to talk about something that we mentioned in passing from a story that I told that I saw a video. Let's talk about mental health conditions and body odor.
Okay.
There was a story about a lady who said she didn't brush her teeth for well over a year. I don't know. Yes. Sorry, another question is already in front of us. Doc, I must be a different case. So if there is anything I am ever self-aware about, it's how much I notice about myself around the clock, because I personally consider body odor as a deadly disability to be avoided at all costs. Besides, I am too low in confidence to avoid body odor. I love it. Okay, Doc, to the health condition of mental health and body odor.
Okay, health. The truth of the matter is that mental health is so debilitating.
Depression, what have
you. They are just incapable of doing the basic things. Like, you are hot today, so you decide, okay, let me go and take a shower, get rid of all of this heat. Maybe I'll feel better. The depressed person feels, what's the point? Can't even summon up the stamina
to get out of bed, let alone
maybe might benefit from a shower. So all of these normal activities of daily living do not even look important. They do not look significant. Need to take mental health more seriously in Nigeria. That's just the truth of the matter. I don't think we need to brush people off. You don't need to tell people that they need more faith. I hate that that you don't believe in God enough, which is why you are depressed. No, it is a condition. When you are having depression, there can actually be changes in the brain, and a lot of antidepressants work on that by blocking certain receptors in the brain so that you can have an increase in some neurotransmitters in the brain, and it can improve your mood. So that means that whether we like it or we like it, it is a medical condition, and people should be treated just as significantly as if you're trying to manage hypertension.
Okay.
I think we're getting better at that in Nigeria too.
Okay, let's take one call and then we'll wrap up. Hello, good morning. Can you hear us?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
This is Happiness.
Okay, Happiness. Thank you for calling. You have a question?
Yes, I want to ask a question.
Okay.
This question goes like this. Like someone like me, if I go out now and come in, I like going to the bedroom to go and
take
shower.
A bath after
and
coming
as I'm showering, I must use soap. So if I go out like 4 or 5 times, that is how I will shower.
Okay.
So now someone say me showering with soap, that's not good in my skin.
Okay.
That I should be showering with soap just once a day. How true is that? Does showering with soap often cause harm in the skin?
Thank you.
Thank you
for
so
this
much.
question.
Thank you so much,
Doc. She was asking. She said that as a person, she likes to. If she goes out 5 times in a day, she will come back and shower 5 times in a day, and she would use soap and scrub her body right. But that someone has told her that using soap too much on her body is not healthy. It's not good for her. So she wants to know how true is that you shouldn't use soap too much,
and that you should only use soap once a day.
I'm gonna add to this that somebody I know takes his bath with soap at night at the end of the day coming from work. In the morning, he just does a light shower, right? But then at night is when he scrubs. So how do you attend to the use of soap and how often? This is how we'll wrap up because we're behind time.
Okay. 2 to 3 times a day. I think the issue with soap basically is worry about drying out the skin, because if your skin is excessively dry, then there's also risk factors that are associated with that. I would say 3 times a day. I don't really typically believe that soap is that bad, to be honest, because the moment you step out of the bath, right, you are exposed to the atmosphere and then the normal flora on the skin, because whether we like it or we like it, there is a normal population of bacteria that actually have functions to play throughout the entire part of our body. And you don't get rid of them just because you're using soap 3, 4, 5 times a day. But and then another thing is that everybody is individual, and we can't give recommendations, but the truth of the matter is that it's up to you to determine what works for you.
Okay.
Doc,
and make sure that you implement that.
Bleaching.
Yes.
I wanted to. I've heard about kojic as one of the materials in soap, and I've heard that it's really bad. I don't know if
that is bad.
Yes, that using. There's a way I've seen this story about kojic in your soap and how maybe it is the quantity of this thing in it. Does it also the response, or what I'm trying to say is, does that not also mean that it depends on the kind of soap that you're using, right?
Yes, it depends on the amount of. I don't know how many people actually take the time to read the content
of the soaps that they use,
of the soaps that they buy, and there are a lot of products in the world today that actually are hypoallergenic, that are crafted in such a way that even people with the most sensitive skin
can use it.
The smells.
Okay.
They don't like fragrance in soap. And you have soaps, creams, and other products that do not have any fragrance. So they are very hypoallergenic. And I think it is like it's like Chioma BBB just said. her skin will react to it, and so. So that means that's personal awareness. You know what works for you, and know what doesn't work for you, and then you stick with something that works for you. So it's like I said, you have a great responsibility for yourself. And please, when you are purchasing things, just take the time to read the small print. Make it a habit. Make it a habit to look through what you are buying, see what they have in it, and then make sure so that if you react to such and such and such, you will probably understand that, okay, these are the contents that were there. Let me pick a product that doesn't have this kind of content. Nobody else can do that for you except yourself.
All right, Doctor. I wanted to even touch base with those that are bleaching their skin and how, because you can tell that their skin, like you pass them, you know.
15 seconds, Doc. 15 seconds.
Bleaching, you are removing an inherent protective part of your skin. So that means that you are more susceptible to infections. You are more susceptible to the sun's rays. You are more susceptible to many things. You won't heal if you injure yourself. Bleach, please. Please.
Don't bleach.
Don't bleach.
Please don't bleach. Doctor said it.
Please.
Because when you do surgery, that's when you know that your skin cannot stitch back.
Yes, then you understand.
Thank you, Doc.
Exactly. When you have a small cut. Yes.
It doesn't heal. Dr. Olubunmi Aregbesola, medical administrator, Life Anchor Hospital. She has all these accolades: MBCHB in Ile-Ife, Healthcare Management, University of Surrey in the UK, alumnus of the Healthcare Leadership Academy of Nigeria. She's dedicated to continuous healthcare quality improvement. She's an advocate for patient-centered care, facilitated by patient education to allow them